Alrighty, we're ready to roll. So let's get to our chairs. Let's sit at the very edge of the chair. Sit bones are almost rolling out of the chair. That's how to the edge we're getting. And bringing the feet hip distance apart, bringing the shins perpendicular to the floor. Looks this way. I mean, you look, open your leg. I'm opening to show you that my shin bone is at a 90-degree angle toward the floor. It's not here, it's not there. And that's how I want you to set yourself up facing me. Feet are hip distance apart and parallel, no toes out, no toes in, so that the knees are also parallel all the way to the width of the hips. Hips, knees, and feet are on the same line. Then you relax your hands on your lap, you relax the shoulders, and you allow yourself to find a seat that is comfortable and steady as you close your eyes. And you start your breathing through your nose, become aware of your breath. How are things flowing this morning for you? And noticing how when you start paying attention to the breath naturally starts expanding, broadening, deepening on its own, not to its fullest capacity just on the first breath, unless you were very calm and peaceful before this class. But progressively, you'll see that the breath builds on itself and become more expansive and allows to reach deeper and wider into the body, which take us to observe now and feel the body sensations and start the mapping on how the body feels this morning, how the breath is touching the body from within, where it's reaching, where you can find a little bit of constriction, restriction, limited access, maybe tightness already can be felt. And you're not trying to do anything about it. You're just acknowledging, you're just observing, being a witness of your own body and your own breath, which calls for your full attention, being completely present with the here and now. And that's where mindfulness starts, bringing all your mind focus onto what the body and breath are experiencing. And then from the awareness of your own body, your own breath, start acknowledging that you are supported here. You're not just flying in the sky or on the edge of a cliff about to tilt over. You're comfortably seated on a chair where you have full contact with the floor through your feet, which brings a signal to your body that there's a place of steady, sturdy, stable support for your body to rest a little more relaxed on. So you can acknowledge and notice that the legs maybe feel a little more comfortable, a little heavier, more relaxed as you acknowledge that foot perspective, that feet support. And then feel your sit bones on your chair and feel therefore that you have also full support, sturdy, steady, and stable through the chair into the torso. So the torso can completely relax from superficial muscles to deep muscles all the way to the bones. Feel the weight of the torso simply resting on top of the sit bones. Ideally in this position, because you're right at the edge of the chair, there's a tilting of the hips forward that allow the back to unround, because most of the time where we're sitting back on a chair, tendency is to go into rounding and the shoulders are rolling forward and we're closing up. So here, see if you're able to naturally open the chest a little broader as the shoulders drop. There's a slight arching into the low back. And therefore your head feels lighter and more in connection with the rest of the spine as it's floating right above the shoulders. Ears ideally are right on top of the shoulders, not forward. And take here just 2 or 3 more breaths where you're trying to really breathe into the full body from feet to top of the head, through the arm, through the torso, front and back sides of the body. Try to experience the whole body as the full container of your breath, flowing in and flowing out. And let's gently open the eyes, and we're going to start today with spinal waves. So we're going to rock the hips forward and back, gentle and easy. Start very mild, very gentle, not a broad range of motion. You're just rocking the hips forward and back. And if you don't know what I mean by rocking the hips forward and back, I'm going to go sideways. You stay where you are. And I'm going to show you from this side perspective how it looks like. So I'm gently rocking. And as you can see, maybe as you can note, when I'm rocking forward, there's a little bit more of the arching of my back from the low back to the mid spine. And when I'm rocking back, there's kind of a rounding happening. And we're going to do this just a few more times at this speed and this range of motion, which is tiny, tiny. The speed can be even slower for you as you warm up. Maybe if you're a little achy on your low back. Low back pain is one of the main health issues that we have nowadays that are created by bad posture, sitting for long hours, accumulating tension, stress in the back, and not stretching enough the front part of the body to compensate. So as you get more comfortable here, let's go into deeper range of motion, where now you're inviting the feet to be a little bit more part of the movement, meaning that when I'm rocking forward, I'm pressing my weight more towards the front of the feet, toward the ball of the feet, and I'm actively pressing from that space back to pull and push my spine into that rolling back movement. And I'm going maybe a little slower as I go deeper so that I can now pay closer attention, for example, to the shoulders, opening and stretching the chest and rounding in and stretching to, between the shoulder blades. So you're going from front to back, front stretch, back stretch. Now, last little detail, which is a biggie, you bring the synchronization of the breath into the movement of the body. So you're inhaling as you're rocking forward, and you're exhaling as you're rocking back. And for the next 2 or 3 rounds, see if you can go to the maximum range of motion within comfort, obviously. You're not forcing into pain. But see how far you can go, how deep you can breathe. Last one. And back to neutral. Now back to neutral, we're going to go into another angle of the spine movement. We're going to go from side to side. And we're going to drop the weight of one elbow at a time to the side so that the weight of the shoulder can drop also to that side. And then eventually, as we get a little more comfortable and the spine is getting warmed up in this angle, the head can follow the movement from side to side, from shoulder to shoulder, from ear to ear, as if you were pouring out of your ear some warm, sweet liquid, a drink, like you can think about sweet tea or honey that would be coming out of your ear, pouring down onto your shoulder and arm. So as we imagine that, we bring a different quality to the movement. We bring some softness, some sweetness, some warmth, and not warmth like we're overheating, because in Dallas it's warm enough right now. But sometimes that warm is also that comfort that we find within as we get in touch with our body. Couple more. back to center, and now we're going to go into tiny twists. We're going to just go from side to side across the shoulders, and you allow your head to follow and turn your head from side to side. And especially if you have a tendency to get dizzy when you're turning your head fast, go super slow. You can still twist. And here, see how you can use your hands pressing onto your leg to help with the twist. So when I'm twisting to the left, I'm pressing into my left hand on top of my left thigh. When I'm twisting to the right, I'm pushing into my right hand and to my right thigh. And that's for a mild twist, a warm up. Couple more, one on each side. Back to center, back to neutral. And we're going to take 3 rolls all around in one direction. 1, 2, and 3. Back to center. And we'll go to the other side. 1, 2, and 3. And back to center. Now we're going to bring the arms to the side of the body, and we're going to lift one arm up while we're stretching the opposite arm back. And we're going to swing up and down. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep on breathing. The elbows are slightly bent, the hands are relaxed. So you're not trying to do military stretch, like stretching all the way like boot camp. You're soft and easy, kind of as if you were running as a kid in a field of wildflowers, and there's wind, and you're kind of jumping. Get yourself back into that childhood where you're just moving freely and everything is so fluid, and that's the kind of sensation you want to have. Very graceful, very peaceful, very easy. Keep on breathing. Couple more. And relax back to your thigh. Take a pause here. Rest in breath. Feel your breathing for 2-3 rounds. Feel the body resting on the chair, feet on the floor. Completely relax for the length of this pause. And let's go for another round. You're going to slide your left foot forward so the left heel is kind of aligning with the level of your right big toe. So you're not going all far out, a little further in. You can even bring your heel to align to the side of the base of the big toe instead of the tip of the big toe, and that's a more narrow step. And from here, you're going to place your left hand on top of the left knee, and you're going to reach forward with your right arm, and then open back, and swing forward. Reach, open back. And as we keep on going with the same movement, notice a little bit as your feet are not in the same alignment, what foot becomes more predominant in which stage or part of the movement, and which foot becomes more predominant on another stage of the movement. Feel the shift between one foot and the other foot as helping to reach forward or helping to reach forward. Back. Did I say forward twice? Maybe. So anyways, see where it's more conducive of helping you as you reach forward and where it's more helpful to reach back. 2 more. And last. And release. Hands back to the legs, but you're in the same movement here, in the same placement of the feet. And now we're gonna go in reverse mode. You're gonna swing that right arm along you, reach back, and then bring it over and reach forward. Swing it back, bring it over and forward. Go back, bring it over and forward. 2 more, bring back. See again which foot is helping you reach further back with ease and comfort. Swing it over, come forward. Notice which foot is helping and relax. Bring both feet back to alignment, back to parallel. Take a pause here, breathe in and breathe out. And let's stack again. Now the right foot in the straight line, you're not bringing it closer in, neither you're opening it out in that same alignment of the hip distance. You slide it forward to about half a step or a little more, 3/4 of a step, so that your heel is aligning with your big toe, not the tip of the toe, but the base of the toe. And from here, we're gonna reach forward with the left arm, open the arm out and back, swing it forward and reach. Open to the side and back. Head is following the movement. You're gazing at your thumb. Inhale. Exhale. Few more. Breathe in. And now start noticing on this side which foot. And it might be a different foot that is helping you on this side to reach forward and to open back. And that's where we notice that the body, even though it looks like we have 2 arms, 2 legs, and everything should be the same on both sides, but it's not. You've created through your life, through your experiences, different patterns in your body. And so acknowledging that is never the same on one side and the other side. Sometimes the difference is very tiny, so you barely ever notice. But other times the difference is pretty major. So here for myself, for example, when I'm reaching forward here, when I was doing the other side, my weight had the tendency to go stronger on the same foot as the arm. So that would be in this case, the left foot and the left arm. But on this side, my tendency is to go stronger on the right foot. And when I'm opening back here, my tendency is to use and push into my left foot. And when I was doing it on the other side, I was pushing more firmly on the opposite foot to reach back. So that's also my recognition. Take 2 more here now that you know what to look for. And it's recognizing that my body it's supporting movement differently on both sides. And relax, take a pause, keep your feet in the same position. We're gonna reverse. And let's go now with the left arm swinging back, open, and then over your head, and then come forward. Push back, open, and forward. So again, find the movement first, find your breath in it, make sure you're not holding your breath, and then check the different ingredients of that movement, including what foot is supporting what. Which part of the movement is being created with the support of which foot. And couple more. And forward and release. Bring your right foot back to align with your left foot, hip distance apart. Take a moment here, take several breaths. Observe any differences in your body from the movements we just did. Nice, deep, long breath in and out. Opening your left foot out. So you're opening the toes out, heel out, toes out, ground. Make sure both sit bones are planted. Make sure that the shin is still perpendicular to the floor. You're not pulling your foot out, neither you're bringing it in. So we just opened in the same alignment of the shin, just the foot moved away to open the leg. And then you're gonna slide that right leg out, foot down, like in a straight line, open the toes out slightly and then straight line out. And make sure you're sitting tall here. And from here, left hand on top of the left knee, you're gonna flex the right foot and anchor your heel. Anchor strong, and we're gonna lean over to the left, bringing that right arm across, and pull and stretch from your right hand to your right heel, pulling your toes in. If this is challenging here to hold on the leg, you can also use your chair and bring your left hand to your chair or the arm of your chair, or even bring your forearm on the chair. Find the position that allows you to keep your back nice and long instead of rounding, to keep your shoulders open, and to keep your arm reaching. See, I have kind of a line between my right fingertips and the right foot, the right heel, and stretch. And then bring it back in. Bring your right hand down and slide out through the right leg. You're not going to be able maybe to go too far because this is kind of an off position, meaning that now you're losing a little bit of the connection to the chair as you're leaning forward. So when that happens, you have to reinforce the support of the left leg. You press down into the left foot. You engage that left leg stronger so that the left leg becomes a key ingredient for you to safely go forward onto the right leg. And breathe. And slide back up. Slide your right foot back in. Close both feet in to hip distance apart. Shin perpendicular to the floor, and rest in breath here. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And let's switch sides. You're gonna open the right toes out, heel out, toes out. Make sure that everything is still in alignment, knee right on top of the ankle. The ankle is not far out, neither far in. You press down into that right foot, right hand onto the leg, and then you're opening your left foot out, just the toes. Slide your left leg out, straight leg, all the way to pointy toes. And then you're gonna stretch that left foot up and bring your left arm over and stretch out. So here, make sure that you're not, again, leaning back. That's a tendency. Roll your hips forward, press down into the sit bones, and stretch away from the left wrist to the left ankle. And breathe. Again, you can use your right hand on top of the right leg, or if that feels easy, your right hand behind, but again, not relaxing back like this. Or you can bring your forearm on top of your arm, the arm of the chair, and stretch out this way. One more breath here, full stretch. Come back in, release your left hand down, and slide out to whichever level you're able to go on your left leg, keeping the sit bones as rooted as possible, but you'll see that becomes a little tricky, so press down stronger onto the right foot and right leg. You can press down into your right hand also, press down into the left heel, and breathe. And slide back up. Slide your left foot in, toes in both feet, heels in, and come back to parallel. Find your seat, find your neutral position here, and take a couple breaths in and out. Good. Now working on the feet, we're gonna lift the heels up and down and bounce the heels down as we anchor on the ball of the feet. Both heels at the same time. Sometimes we do this movement with a light lifting, and especially on the landing where we just work through the front of the ankle, and you can notice the difference. There's no sound here, versus now I'm asking you to really tap the heels down. This is a way to stimulate the bones, the nervous system, and all good stuff around. But it's a big thing also, again, for the bones. If you have hardwood floor like me, you should all making music with me. Heels drumming. You more. And release. Take a moment here. Feel your calf, feel the tingling sensation along your legs, all the way. I feel it all the way to my glutes. Might not be the case for everybody, but it might for some of you. Good. Now we're gonna alternate. One foot is gonna lift the heel up while the other foot is flexing, lifting the toes up. And then you're gonna switch. And we're gonna go from side to side, switching. Going opposite direction, one foot is flexing, the other one is lifting. And this requires some coordination. So that's a good exercise, not only for the muscular aspect of it, but also to trigger and challenge your mental coordination here. And as we keep on doing this, inquire yourself by observing how you feel on each side and see which of the feet is more comfortable doing this alternate movement. Which one is responding easier, not getting lost, finding its rhythm, and which one is struggling a little bit. Maybe none of the two, maybe you feel pretty equal on both sides, but usually we always have a predominant side, and therefore the other side might be either resistant or weaker or not as coordinated, whatever the situation is, to the point that sometimes when I'm doing coordination exercises like this, where it's a different movement on each side, sometimes I get to the point that it feels that two different bodies, that one of the movements is not part of me. It feels that unfamiliar. So check for yourself if that's the case, if there's unfamiliarity to the point of, oh my God, this feels so awkward. Couple more. And release. Take a moment here, rest and observe. Feel the effects in your body. Bringing the arms forward, right palm up, left palm down. And you're gonna bend the right elbow and bend the left, and then open the right and stretch the other. And you're gonna go and alternate. So now one palm is facing up and the other palm is facing down. And again, that might create some kind of distortion or confusion, awkwardness. And again, I'm asking you to observe and see for yourself which of those two arms, even though they're doing the same movement at the elbow, but one arm is rotating up and the other arm is rotating down, not all the way down because you wouldn't be able to bend the elbow, but it has a different quality. And therefore you perceive it a little differently or a lot differently. A few more here. Noticing which arm again feels more familiar and easier to move. And pause, both forward, and let's flip. Right palm down, left palm up, same movement. Bending up, so that's to show you the movement. And then we'll alternate. One is bending, the other one is stretching out. And all along, you're still breathing. You're not holding your breath because you're moving, quite the opposite. You're fully breathing in, fully breathing out, and you're observing your own body, creating this opposite pattern, and noticing which of the two is more comfortable doing such. A few more. Feel the resistance of gravity through your arms, resistance of the air. As you can tell, my fingers are together, so I have a wide surface of contact of my hand with the air, of resistance, which create that and turns resistance through the arms. It creates good exercise here. And last two, forward, both. Turn both palms down and relax your arms down. Feel and appreciate the sensation from the shoulders down through the arms. And breathe. And another coordination exercise that is also going to strengthen the arms, like the one we just did. After that, I promise, at least for a bit, we won't work the arms as much. Bring the arms up to the side, shoulder height. So make sure, look to the right and to the left, that your arms are not up here, neither down here, right? And you're going to turn your right palm up, left palm down. Your right arm is going to circle back. So you're going to go forward and back, right? And your left arm is going to circle forward. So find the circle first individually, one side at a time. Left arm rolls forward, right arm rolls back. And now let's see if we can do both at the same time. I know this sounds crazy. So left arm forward and right arm back. And it might take you a bit to find it. Right palm up, left palm down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. Bring the arms up. Left hand touches the back of the right hand touches the back of the left hand. And then release all the way down. Rest your hands on your lap and breathe. Deep, long breath in and out. Lifting the arms out to the side. You should know here where we're going because we did one palm up, the other palm down, and opposite direction. Now we're going to switch. Left palm up, right palm down. Left arm is going to roll back, circles toward the back. And right arm is going to roll forward. Find the movement first. And then let's go together. Right arm rolls forward, left arm rolls back. At shoulder level. Keep on breathing because we did this on the other side already. The arms are tired, so maybe we'll do it a little less repetitions here. Try to find your rhythm. And stop. Bring the arms up. Left palm is touching the back of the right hand. And then release out and down. Rest your hands on your lap for a couple of breaths. And let's shake the arms out to the side. From shoulders, upper arm, lower arms, hands and fingers. Shake it off, shake it out. Back to neutral, opening toes out, opening heels out, open toes out, and stay. Make sure you're steadily planted on your sit bones. Maybe you give a little shake like me to make sure that one sit bone is not more planted than the other one, that you're still quite at the edge of the chair, but not off the chair. Hands to the top of the knees. So now I'm leaning forward a little bit. Let me move this sideways so you can see what I mean with a leaning forward, what happens. So I'm here, hands are to the knees. Instead of staying straight up right on top of the chair, I'm leaning into my hands here. And from here, you're going to twist the shoulders one at a time across to the opposite leg. Upward twist. You're not going down to the knee. You're staying up and go just across from side to side. Keep on breathing. Here more. Exhaling in the twist, inhaling as you're shifting sides, and back to neutral. Come back to center, lean back, back to neutral position to turn the toes in, heels in, toes slightly in, find your hip distance apart alignment, and stay. And breathe. A few breaths here, deep in, long out. And we're going to stand and do some standing positions and exercises today. So you're going to bring your hands to the top of the knees. And then we work that on Wednesday. We work this specific way of standing up. You're going to press into the feet, engage your legs, squeeze the pelvic floor muscles in and up, which in turn activate the belly in and up. And then you're going to lean a little further forward with all that activated, push and lift. Good. I'm going to tilt the computer so you can see me a little cooler here. Come to the back of your chair. We're going to start with standing here, feet hip distance apart, same position than where you're sitting. You want your feet to be hip distance apart, feet to parallel, no toes out, and give a little swing of the body front and back to find the right spot, like the midpoint, or your point of gravity goes straight into the center instead of leaning forward into more weight on the toes or leaning back with more weight on the heels. And then also give a little swing, very narrow, just tiny swing from side to side to find also that central point that you're not leaning more onto one foot versus the other foot. And back to center. Now from here, I'm gonna face my back to you, flip so that you can see what I'm doing, but you're staying right here. You'll do it from here to there. You're gonna place your left hand on your low back, your right hand inside the left hand. You can have a slight grip here if you want to stabilize it, or just by pressing the back of the hand into the opposite palm and all this pressing into the low back, that gives you an anchoring here. And from that anchoring, we're going to roll the shoulders back and pull the elbows back. And then relax. Inhale, press and pull back. Squeezing the shoulder blades together a little closer, and therefore the chest is opening broader, and then relax. Inhale. Exhale. Sideways looks like this. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Pull back. Stretch the sternum. Breathe out. And last, breathe in. Breathe out. Release your hands. So remember, you had the left hand on your low back and your right hand inside the left hand. We're going to release, shake it out, and switch. Right hand first, left hand inside the right hand, and same movement. Breathe in, pull back. Breathe out, relax. So again, that's a good opportunity to check if it feels different. Doing it with that right hand first instead of the left. Does it change a little bit the dynamic of how you perceive the movement? Do you feel more limited, or do you feel you have more access to pulling the shoulders back? Breathe in. Breathe out. 3 more. Breathe in. Pull and really activate the shoulder blades together. Breathe out, you're relaxing. Breathe in, engage. Breathe out, soften. and last. Breathe in, breathe out. Release to the side, shake it out, and relax. Grab the back of your chair here. Feet again hip distance apart. If for some reason you moved away and shifted your position, and we're going to do a little bending of the knees up and down. But here I want you to pay close attention that where you bend, when you're bending the knees, your knees are not going past your toes in alignment, obviously, because then we didn't go all the way down to your toes. But when you're bending, you don't want to bend forward like this. See the difference between this and then it lifts the heels up a little bit and you completely off the toes versus here. So here my sit bones and my tailbone are going back as if I was going to sit on a chair. You don't sit on a chair doing this, right? You sit on a chair reaching back. So that's the movement I want you to go into without rounding. And you don't need to go deep into the bending of the knees. It's not how far down you go, it's how you engage that sit bone back. The back is still straight. And then you press back up. And you bend and pull back, you slide your sit bones back. And then you come back up. And bend, sit back, and come back up. And two more. Bend, sit back. Maybe you're able to go a little deeper. You feel the thigh engaging stronger. Lift up. And last one. Bend and stay. Press down into your feet. Pay close attention to pressing down to the base of the big toe. Because we get lazy here and we start shifting the weight to the heels. I want you to feel the action of also the ball of the feet. You can even try to lift the toes up, which will force you to press on the ball of the feet. Couple more breaths here. Don't collapse forward. You can do it. Come on, you're stronger than you think. I know the legs are shaking a little bit here, but that's good. That means your legs are light. And then press back up. Good job. Shift your weight to your left foot. Shake your right leg out. And then plant the right foot down, shift your weight to your right leg, and shake your left leg out. And down, shift your weight to your left foot, step back, your right foot. Bring the ball of the foot down, press into the toes as you press the front of the ankle forward and the front of the foot forward. And this is a stretch by experience that a lot of people feel challenging because feet being in shoes all day long, we don't have the ability to go into this deep stretch, which functionally speaking, anatomically speaking, is really beneficial because those toes are supposed to stretch that deep. But they get frozen in not having the ability of that movement in shoes all day. So we're trying to retrain that pathway here. Good. Then shift forward. Now listen carefully. Hopefully several of you have a carpet underneath or rug that they're standing on. If not, be mindful and careful. You're gonna point your toes back, then your left knee, and then root the front of the toes to the floor and stretch the front of the foot. And you can go mild. When you bend your knee, it goes more toward the ankle. When you straighten the left leg, it goes more toward the toe stretch. So feel for yourself where you want that stretch to be or where you're able to get the stretch. Be very gentle. And then pop up, relax your toes, lifting the foot, bring your right foot down, and shift your weight evenly between right and left. And let's go to the other side. So I'm going to get closer and point the camera down to the foot so that you can see on this side exactly what I'm doing And you'll get to see Lala also, who's just laying down here. So you're here in position, you're gonna shift your weight to your right foot, step back your left foot, and you try to access that angle where you can really press into the ball of the foot and curl your toes up like this. And you're pressing from toes into the ball of the foot. And breathe. Your hands are on top of the chair, so you have a good support here. Keep on breathing. Make sure your foot, when you start this movement at the foot, is not crossing right behind the right foot, because you'll have first issues with balancing, but then the foot is slightly off. Now you're rolling towards the little toe instead of evenly through all across. If you open your foot broader out to the side and hip distance apart, then you're going to shift your weight towards your big toe, and your little toe, see, I don't know if you can see, but my little toe is not even touching the floor. So you want to find that straight line back where you're able to plant all the toes down and press firmly throughout the base of all the toes at the same time. And that shift forward, bending the front knee so you can shift forward. Now point your toes back, and you're going to land to the top of the toes and press down. My right knee also is bent. If I go straight up, it stretches more towards the toes. If I'm bending the knee, I'm reaching towards the center of the top of the foot and the front of the ankle a little bit more. So up to you. If you feel that the stretch you need today is on the toes, you go there. If not, you shift it to a little further up. This is a position that can give sometimes some cramping, so hopefully none of you is getting a cramp here. If that's the case, you simply sit on your chair and you use your hands to pull your toes back and to release the cramp. You can even pull 1, 2 at a time. And then gently release and come back to neutral here. Stand, feet hip distance apart behind your chair. And before we go to our closing, I'm going to face you, but you'll be right behind your chair just in case you need the chair for support. We're going to go into shaking. So we've done shaking so many other times, but most of the time sitting on the chair and just shaking the arms. Here we're going to shake the whole body. Your feet stay in position. You're not moving around. You stay planted and hip distance apart, root through your feet. And you're using a little bending of the knees up and down to start the shaking. So the shaking is not like, oh, I'm going to shake here. It's starting from your feet and your legs up. You're pushing from the feet into the bending and the flapping of the knees up and down. And that creates a shaking into the hips, into the butt cheeks, into the hands and the arms and the shoulders. The belly shaking, the chest is shaking. And really trust the shaking. You cannot go wrong. It's not a specific movement that you need to do. You're creating kind of an earthquake, a little earthquake in your body. And earthquake doesn't look the same in different regions of the world because the tectonic planes, the floor is not the same. The structure of the floor, the hardiness, if it happens near to the coast or in the mountains. So you're trying to find what is the quality and the texture of your own body in the shaking. And at first you might have resistance because probably you've never shaken this way unless you've taken my classes at the hospital, and we've done this a few times. But that's not something mainstream. So you have to really trust it and relax in it, become really vulnerable to the shaking. And eventually the shaking becomes just shaking. Instead of doing the shaking, you become the shaking. You relax your jaw, you allow the shaking to go all the way to your face, all the way to your jaw. You feel it around your head. There's a little bopping of the head, not majorly, but that's the extension of the shake from legs all the way up. And you keep on breathing. Keep on breathing, keep on shaking. For some of you, if you feel comfortable doing so, you can even try to close your eyes and feel how it feels different when you have your eyes closed. And it becomes more of an inward experience instead of being triggered by your environment. If you feel unstable, dizzy, open your eyes again. And let's complete the shaking with a little more actively lifting up and down the shoulders, like lifting and dropping them into a little more intense shaking here. And slow down. Slow down. Stop the shaking. You can either keep your arms to the side of your body or rest your hands on top of the chair. And take a moment here and feel all the sensations in your body, all the tingling, all the pulsing. Feel your breath, feel your heartbeat. This kind of shaking may have increased a little bit your heart rate, which is a good thing. We need the heart to pump a little faster sometimes to feel more alive, not be lazy. Feel how things are rushing through your veins, like blood circulation have activated, and that's why you feel the tingling, the different perception of heat versus coolness. Feel the whole activity and aliveness of your body. And through shaking also, we let go of things we don't want. We shake away tensions, worries, stressors. It serves as a reset of the whole body and whole systems. Has a little bit the same effect than the tapping. And let's go back to our seat. Let's find our chairs to close our practice. Find your neutral position here. Feet hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart, hands resting on the lap. And close your eyes here to find several rounds of deep breath in and out through your nose. Get a sense of your whole body after breathing, stretching, twisting, coordinating, synchronized movement, activating, relaxing, grounding, and lifting. Feel your spine, and notice if your spine feels a little lighter, less tight, more fluid and flexible, even if it's in this resting pose, that you feel that the breath is able to reach deeper and expand through the front and the back and the sides of the body, a lot broader and fuller. And feel again your connection between your feet and the floor, allowing your legs to relax a little deeper instead of pushing away from the floor and feeling alert and engaged. Just relax. And as you relax your legs, allow your buttocks to relax. Feel the melting of your cheeks, butt cheeks, your glutes, giving you access to heavier support on your sit bones. And once you find that steady support on your sit bones, relax and melt your upper body. Relax from within, organs. Relax along your spine, allowing the spine to find its own support. Relax the back muscles. Relax all the way to the skin. Feel the natural dropping of the shoulders. As you pay attention to the shoulders, probably they'll be able to drop a little softer and lower. And feel from the shoulders the weight of the arms with a slight bend in the elbows. The arms feel heavier all the way down to the support of the hands and the thigh. Relaxing your hands, finger by finger, observing how the hands can deepen, their softening, their relaxation, their weight onto the legs. And feel your head connect to your neck. Go all around your neck with your inner eye, with your inner scanner, and notice if there's any part of the neck that is tensing up. And see if that's the case, if you kind of tiny adjust, a little tweaking of the positioning of the chin may open up a new space where it's a little easier and less tense to hold on. From acknowledging the neck, allow your face to relax. And as you relax the face, especially spots like between the eyebrows, some of us tense up in that space, which in return pulls on the skin to the side of the face and all the way to affecting all the way to the back of the head, which can eventually create mild headaches, because if you're tensing up your face all the time and creating that tension all around the head, that can be a cause of mild headaches. So try to relax between the eyes, around the eyes and the eyebrows, into the cheeks. Relax the corners of the mouth and the lips. Feel that soft, rippling, relaxing all the way to the ears, inside the mouth, to the back of the throat and the palate. Let it all relax and soften. And let's close with some tapping. We won't do the whole body today because we did the shaking, but let's tap the belly. And let's tap the chest. Be a little milder on the chest, using mostly the fingers, not the whole hands. And then go up to tip of the fingers, tapping around your face, like little butterflies, landing on flowers from flower to flower, gentle tapping, like a whole bunch of butterflies, going from flower to flower around your face. And land your palms right on top of your eyes, cupping your eyes with the palms, and breathe into relaxing eyes from the front of the eyes to the back of the eyes and all around. And gently release your hands down when you're ready. Start opening your eyes. Coming back to your room, to shapes, to objects, to colors, to sounds around, and back to your body and your breath. And I'll come right at you to open your microphones, open your cameras. And now you're able to open your microphones And you can open, yeah, your cameras. I see a few opened. Thank you so much for the comments. And Dwala, if you're still on the call, you should be receiving the recorded classes through email from the Methodist. If you don't have, if you've never given your email to the Methodist, if you're not receiving already emails from the Methodist, you can post your email here, send it to Andrea, who's still on the call right now, so that she can add you to the list. I cannot hear. Oh yeah, I can hear you now. I was like, something is not working here. Thank you, Gail, for your comment. It's good to challenge the brain sometime, right? With the coordination, synchronizing movements. I have a comment also that is unrelated, but how many of you, I mean, you're not going to be able to raise your hand. Well, there's a little symbol to do that, but I know that several of you are living in Oak Cliff. And I live in Oak Cliff myself, and I'm in a situation that I have to probably move out of the space that I've been living in for the past almost 8 years, because new property manager, meaning new owner of the house I'm living in, and obviously they want to increase my rent a lot because what I'm paying is what I've been paying for the past 7 years. And so I'm looking for a space to move in, ideally a house, a little house in Oak Cliff. I really want to stay in Oak Cliff. This has been my home for 10 years now, and I don't want to go anywhere else. So if you're from Oak Cliff and you know of anyone that would have a house to rent, and I'm willing also to exchange part of it, of getting a good rate, to trade in some of my services, then let me know, please. Reach out to me, because again, this is an unexpected situation. Like, my landlord used to be a really good friend of mine, and he lost his property to his brother in a big family fight, and that happened in the past few weeks. So now I'm in shock, right? So anyways, that's it on the side. Usually I'm really hard at asking for help, but I know that you're such a supportive community and we're all in this together, that I'm like, why not? I'll put the pride and shame or whatever out of the door and say, okay, you never know, because, maybe there's a little house somewhere in Oak Cliff that needs a good tenant to bring some good energy and take care of the house. And sometimes people don't trust with their own property anyone. And so maybe that would be the case. There's something that is waiting for me to, be part of it. So anyways, that's my announcement. Other than my announcement, how are you guys doing? And do you have any questions for me? Do you have any comments? Go ahead, Diane.
Doing great.
I have a question. When we were doing that standing exercise, you had us sort of pretend that we were going to sit down and we were moving our knees.
Right.
And my left knee is giving me problems. It makes a little noise when it happens when I go up and down stairs also. And what is that okay? And what is it?
Does it hurt when you're doing it?
No, but it doesn't hurt. But my right knee doesn't do it, just my left one, and I just don't know if it's okay.
It's because we're doing it in a mic form. If you were doing it like really deep, I would tell you don't force it. If you were doing weights like lunges and stuff like that with weights, I would tell you don't do that, because you're creating a lot of stress in the knee. It can be multiple things. Part of it is some people have cracking joints. I do have cracking joints, and some of my joints are more cracking than others. So it's not always one side, like both sides the same way. So that will, and when there's no pain attached to it, a lot of time is that it's trapped air, in the joint, and those pockets of air, snap in a way or another. And the same snapping can happen also at the ligament level without hurting them or anything. It's just a snapping. So if it doesn't hurt, if you're not forcing, again, that's why I was specifically saying don't put your knees past your toes, because that does create
hypertension into the cross ligaments, and that creates issues. That's what a lot of the injuries when you're doing lunges with weights and all that, that then people need to get repaired in the SNI joints, unstable and going out of, balance, right? But if it's not the case, I would still, mine crack all the time when I'm doing this kind of things. And they've done it since I was a little kid. It can come later in age, when you have more dryness in your body also, that again, the connective tissue is drier and therefore stiffer, and it creates that snapping. But I wouldn't be overly concerned. I don't think it's a contraindication for you to keep on doing it in a safe way.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Somebody else had a question. Did she leave? Rose was there and had a question, I think. Anyway, she'll maybe have it for next time. Anybody else has a question for me? Still several of you are in the call.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good one. Are you all getting ready for the weekend? So probably you're ready to leave the call and get ready to enjoy the weekend. So I'll let you go if there's not urgency in questions. I'm going to check the chat once more just in case. Alrighty. You all take care, and I'll see you on Monday. Thank you.